Hey there, everybody. This is your math helper. This math helper is for lesson 15, and lesson 15 is about dividing decimals using place value understanding, including remainders in the smallest unit. And that remainders is really the key to what we're doing here. So we're going to begin by drawing our place value chart, and doing this with disks and the standard algorithm to show that we understand, to help us understand exactly what's going on. Okay, we have ones, we have tenths. Let's do hundredths. Okay, and of course our decimals here. And the problem we're going to first take a look at is 1 7/10 divided by 2. So when I go ahead and do this, I'm going to give myself a disk here in my ones, because I have one disk in my ones and I have 7 disks in my tenths. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm dividing it by 2, so I'm putting it into 2 different groups. So I'm going to use a different color down here to represent my 2 groups. And now I'm pretty solid. I'm ready to go. Okay, so if I'm trying to put this into 2 groups, I can't do that. And I'm going to go ahead and put this in the standard algorithm down here. Excuse me. I can't do that. I can't take one thing and give it to 2 different people and be fair about it. So what I have to do is, and we've learned this over the last few lessons, is that we can always take something like this and we can unbundle it. We can take it apart. I can make my 1/10 and I can make that into 10/10, and then I can do something with it. So I'm going to take my 1/10 here and put it over here. I'm going to give myself 10/10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and cross it off. And so now I have something that I can use. I got rid of that guy there. I'm down here, and now I have 17 total tenths, and that makes sense. If I look at this number here, I do have 17 tenths, and that's just visually over here. I do have 17 tenths. Now, in my standard algorithm, I wasn't able to do the 2 into the 1. I wasn't able to take my one thing and split it into 2 groups. I couldn't do that, and so I'm going to put my 0 there, and I'm also going to put my place value up here to help me just kind of keep things in mind of what exactly it is I'm doing here. So now I have 17 of these guys, and I need to be able to split them up into 2 groups. And so what I need to be able to do is figure out, well, what would be fair. And I'll count by 2s to get there, because I have 2 different groups, and it's kind of like saying 1 for me and 1 for you. So if I do that, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and that would be 8 would give me 16. I know if I went 1 more, I would get to 18, and that would be too much. So 8 groups, and that makes sense. 8 times 2 is 16. So I'm going to put them, and I said 8 is going to go into each group, and I'll make my disks, and so I'll do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in that group. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 in that group. And if I cross off and figure out how many I have left over, I did use 16 total. I know 8 here and 8 here. I used 16 total of these guys. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 I used. And I'm going to put that over here. I used 16. I shouldn't have that. Yeah, no, I should have. Sorry, that wasn't the problem. I have 16 down here. And that's what I used here. And ultimately I have 1 left over, and that's going to be right. If I subtract 17 minus 16, I'm going to get 1 left over. And so that's great. So now I got 1 left over. Now, what we would have done before in 4th grade math was to tell you that you can stop right there. You got this, and we would tell you just put an R1 and you're done. But that's because we didn't want to delve too much into this. Because we wanted to keep you keep your understanding of division to where it was. You weren't quite understanding about decimals at that point, and so that was then. But this is now, and now we want you to be able to figure out what to do with this one extra guy. Okay, remainders are just kind of an easy way to say, okay, I'm just going to stop there. But we don't want to stop there. We want to get an answer. We want the truth here, and so. I'm gonna have to do something with this. So I have this 1/10 here. I have this 1/10 here, but I know that I can unbundle that 1/10 and I can make it much bigger so that I can split it apart. And if you think about that as terms of maybe a candy bar or something, you can chop that up into pieces. If you and your friend were going to share a candy bar, you could chop it up into pieces and then divide it from there, then you would get an answer. And you would get an even grouping of you and your buddy in the candy. So I'm going to take this one guy here, and I'm going to turn that 1 into 10. And I do that by taking this one, putting it over here. I'm going to get 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to get my 10. And now that seems a lot more reasonable. That's something that I can handle and do. I can take that 10 and I can put it into 5 equal groups because I know that 2 times 5 is 10. And so I can put that into 5. 5 will go into 2 equal groups. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that would eliminate all of these for me. I took my one little piece and I broke it up into 10 tinier pieces, and then I can split those up into 2 groups to give myself an even a fair share that I just passed out. And so total that would give me 10, because that's how many I just took down here, 10, and I'm left with 0. And so if I look at that, I have 85 hundredths. And here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hello there, right? I have an 8 there, and I have a 5 here, and that's my 85 hundredths. Okay, so we're not stopping when we get something here. We're not stopping ever until really we figure out an answer. And there's some conditions to that and some things that we'll need to take a look at. Okay, so let's try that all over again. Let's try that all over again. Here's my place value chart. Here's my ones. Whoa, ones. Here's my tenths. Here's my hundredths. And the problem that we're going to do this time is 2 and 6/10, and we're going to divide it by 4. So I'm going to need 4 different groups. I really should make these lines just a little bit longer so that it's easier for me to put my 4 groups in there. 1 group, 2 groups, and then cut those in half. There's 1. And there's 1. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. 1, group 2, groups 3, and group 4. And I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. So I have 2 and 6/10. Cool. And I'm going to write that in the standard algorithm here. 2 and 6/10 divided by 4. Okay, so now I'm all set up. Same thing. I'm going to see what I can do. I have these 2 ones here, but I can't split those up into 4 people evenly. If I had 2 things, I can't each give them 1. That wouldn't be fair. I can't give 2 to 1. It's not fair. So what I need to do is I need to unbundle these. I need to pass these down. I need to break them up, however you want to call it. And I'm going to take those 2 and I'm going to push them down. And I have it's ones here and tenths, and that would be 20 I could get out of there. I could get 10 for each one, 10 for this one and 10 for this one. So 20, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, and that makes sense. If I'm looking at this, I have 20 plus the 6 that were already there, so I have 26/10. And over here, if I look at this, yeah, I do. I have 26/10, don't I? And so that's something that makes sense to me. When I'm over here, though, I do want to make sure that I am also keeping along with myself here in the standard algorithm. And I did try to do the 2, and I couldn't. So I'm going to put my 0 there. And I'm going to put my decimal place up so that I'm ready to see how many times this 4 can go into this 26, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to count by 4s to get to 26, okay? So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, that's 5. And then 1 more would be 24. And if I did 1 more, that would be too much, so that would be 28. So 1 more gives me 24, so that's 6 times. And so basically what that's saying is that I can put 6 of these tenths into each group. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In total, I've just used a 24, right? So 24, let's count. Let's cross those off. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I used 24, and I'm left with 2. And so over here, let's keep track of that as well. I put 6 into each group, and 6 times 4, 6 times 4 here. I had 24, and I'm left with 2. And so I need to do something with those 2. I need to pass those down as well and turn my 2 into a 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And so now that gives me something that I can manage with that. And so 4 goes into 20 5 times. I know my math facts. Should have just kept it there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each group gets 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I have 4 groups of 5, or 4 times 5, and that's 20. And I can cross off all of these guys. I use 20, and I put 5 into each group. And in total, that brings me back down to a 0, 0 out. So now I have an answer here of 65 hundredths, and that jives with what I had over here. I had 6 in each group here, and I had 5 in each group there, and I have my decimal, and I have my 0. So that's what this all looks like. What this basically is leading us down to the path of is saying, hey, can you solve something on your own just using a standard algorithm? And we're hopeful that you can, but let's try one. Let's do 7 7/10 divided by 4. And so then if I'm just doing the standard algorithm, I'm doing the same things. I'm starting out with this, and I'm seeing how many times does my 4 go into a 7, and if I count by 4s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 would be too much, so it really only goes in 1 time, and that gives me 4. And 7 minus 4 gives me 3, and I can't do anything with that. So 401 can't go into that. So I'm going to bring my guy down here, bring my friendly 7 down, and now I have 37. And I can count by 4s to get to that, but I know that, 10 times 4 is 40. And if I subtract 4 away from that, that would be 36, and that would be 9 times. And 9 times 4 is 36. So I know that that goes in 9 times. I'm going to bring my decimal point up, so I'm not lost on that. And that's going to give me 36. And if I subtract that, I get 1. And I know I can make that 10. So 4 goes into 10, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 2 times. And I get 8. Now we're just doing some good old long division. And that gives me 2. And I'm going to make that a 0. 4 goes into 20 5 times. And that's 20. I'm running out of space here. And that's zeroed out just in time. And I'm good to go. And I have my quotient. So the lesson here is we do not stop. Don't stop. Add a 0 and keep going. On this one, we had to go down into the hundreds. Sorry, excuse me, the thousandths. And that's fine. Yeah, this is a challenge for you. I take every single one of these problems as a challenge to see, hey, what can I do, and how is this going to work out, and how is this one going to be different from all the other ones that we do? So, challenge yourself. You can do this. This is something you can do. Just because there's a decimal place there doesn't mean you can't do it. Just because you have to add on a 0 doesn't mean you don't have the skills that it takes to make this happen. I believe in you. You guys are really doing an awesome job. You're handsome, beautiful, smart, funny. You did totally awesome on that thing, remember? So keep it up. You have an awesome personality. You have great confidence in yourself. And if you do, you're going to go successful. You're going to be successful and go far in life. So keep it up. Anyways, great job, and I'll catch you later.